Kia ora everybody, Connor here. I hope you're all doing well. I am super excited to do this lesson with you guys. But before we can start doing our lesson today, we need to think back to last week and what did we do last week in Kiwi Camp. Or, if you haven't seen last week's video, pause this one and rewatch those. So last week we were talking about taikaha and setting goals, and specifically we were talking about SMART goals. Okay, and remember that SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. SMART goals. And I want you to think back on the goals that you've set in the last week. Are they going well? Are you improving on your own technique? Maybe it's something to do with press-ups or possibly something to do with some sort of fitness. Is it harder because you're not at school? Are your parents helping you or other family members helping you at this time, or caregivers? Because today we're talking about evaluating and improving our goals. Remember that we're still talking about resilience, and we'll just be talking about evaluating and improving them. So after our energizer today, I'm going to pass the camera to Seddon, and he's going to run us through our main activity. But before we can start anything, we need to do our catchphrase. So let's get ready for our catchphrase. All right, hands on your knees, warming up your knees. And Kiwi Can says, we want to grow, we set a goal, improve our body, mind, and soul. Alrighty, so for our energizer today, this activity is called Rhyme These Words. You will need pen and a piece of paper. So if you do not have that now, I suggest pausing the video and going to get that now. Awesome, let's get started. Alrighty, what's going to happen is I will say a word. It is your job in the 3 seconds that I give you to write down a word that rhymes with it. Okay? Cool. So we're going to start off real easy. Word number 1 is match. Word number 2 is goal. Word number 3 is smart. Word number 4 is inside. Word number 5 is work. Word number 6 is brain. Word number 7 is respect. Word number 8 is relationship. Word number 9 is activity. And our last word, our word number 10, is resilience. Now, I don't know all the answers, obviously, but I do have some answers here, and if they're the same answers, tick them. Or you can ask a family member or someone you live with to possibly help you check the answers for these as well. Cool, let's get started. These are the answers that I've got here. So, number 1, a word that rhymes with match is patch. Number 2, a word for goal is soul. Number 3, a word for smart is dart. Number 4, a word for inside is pesticide. Number 5, a word for work is smirk. Number 6, a word for brain is lane. Number 7, a word for respect is affect. Number 8, a word for relationship is potato chip. Number 9, for activity, I had the word captivity. And number 10, the last one, a word for resilience, I have brilliance. Now, if you have any of those answers, obviously it's correct, but if you don't and you have a different answer, just make sure that it is sounding the same, or remember to check with family members or people that you live with, to check with them and to make sure that they rhyme as well. But other than that, what's going to happen now is we're going to pass it to our Kiwi Can leader, Seddon. He's going to run us through our main activity.
Kia ora everybody, Seddon here, and I hope you guys are ready for an awesome activity. Alright, before we get started guys, I need you to go grab something that you can write with. So do that, come back, and then we can get started. So pause the video now and go do that. I'm going to give you 3 goals and I want you to evaluate those goals and turn them into SMART goals. Alright, goal number 1 is I want to be better at jumping. Now, pause the video and try and turn that into a SMART goal. Goal number 2 is I want to be able to do my 4, 5 and 6 times tables all off by heart. Pause the video now and turn that into a SMART goal. And the final goal is I want to read more books by the end of the week. Pause the video and turn that one into a SMART goal. Now number 1 is missing a lot to be a SMART goal. It's not specific, it's not measurable, and it's not timed. Now, an example of something we could have changed it to is, by the end of the year, I want to be able to touch the roof of my living room. Now, I know exactly what I want to achieve and when I want to achieve it by, and I'll know whether or not I've failed. Number 2 is a lot better, but we don't have a time limit on it, so we could never do it and then just keep saying, oh, I'll do it later, or I'll do it next week, or I'll do it tomorrow. This means that it's an easy fix, so we could just put a time limit on it. So the new goal could be, I want to be able to do my 4, 5 and 6 times tables off by heart by the end of the term. Number 3 isn't specific or measurable. How about something like, I want to read 1 book in my house by the end of the week? It's so important that we evaluate a goal before we put the necessary effort in to achieve it. Our time and our effort are really valuable, so let's use it the best way we can. We want to improve ourselves, we want to learn new skills, and we want to get better at the skills that we already have. Let's push for the things that matter without wasting our effort and without wasting our time.
Awesome work, Seddon. Thank you so much for going through that with us. What's going to happen now is we're going to end our lesson with some GKQ, some general knowledge questions. What's going to happen is kind of like before in our Energizer, is a question will be said and then you guys will have to come up with the answer. I'll say the correct answer after around 3 or 4 seconds. Okay? Cool. Our first question is, what is the number 10 in Māori? If you've said the answer to Carl is correct. Alrighty, our next one is, what planet is closest to the sun? What planet? If you've answered with Mercury, Mercury is the correct answer there. Our next question is, what is a baby goat called? A baby goat is called a kid. Alrighty, and for our last question, what happens to a shark if it stops moving? If a shark stops moving through the water, it will die. So sharks continuously need to move. Hey, thank you so much for joining myself and your Kiwi Can leaders today. What's going to happen now is we'll finish with our catchphrase, but if you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. Alright, hands on your knees, warming up your knees. And Kiwi Can says, we want to grow, we set a goal, improve our body, mind and soul.